covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Welcome into this Inside Arkansas Recruiting podcast edition, sponsored by Goat Lab Brewery. I'm your host, Dudley Dawson, and on today's edition of the Inside Arkansas Recruiting podcast, I'm honored to have Mattnew Nelson, one of the state's best high school football players, and Quad Sanders, one of the state's best high school football coaches. Another 10-win season, 23 wins in a row. 31 to 32, I think it is. You've got a lot of talent down there, Coach, but it's not just about talent. Talk about what has made y'all's program so successful over the years.
Man, really, it's just the commitment of the kids and the parents to allow us to do what we need to do to be successful. And these kids are devoted like college kids. They get up early every morning, and then they stay late some nights, especially in the summers, man. We get up. It's hard to ask a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid to get up every morning at 5 o'clock, and be at 6 o'clock workouts. And then some days they just run long because we'll have other things afterwards. But and these kids have been devoted for a long time, starting at an early age.
Talk about that a little bit, Mattnew. Obviously, once you're in the program there at Bryant, it's a system that just keeps on moving you up. You keep developing. Talk about what it's been like to play for the coaches you have and the development that they've been able to help you out with.
I mean, I would say it's the best coaches that are here in Arkansas, and they're here to develop you and get you to the next level if you want to get there. And so they have helped me along the way a lot. They have got me in the right position. They've helped me do drills and stuff to get me where I am now and push me to be my best.
Coach, this guy sitting next to you is a big-time athlete, not just on the football field, but talk about his overall athleticism and maybe, how playing multiple sports might even help him, in his future career in college and even on Sundays maybe.
Well, man, his athleticism is definitely one you can't teach or you can't even grow. It's just got to happen. I think playing, doing track, going over hurdles for one, you got to be flexible, and then you got to be tough enough to do it. And then you put that with wrestling, and then it sounds like a phenomenal athlete. All we had to do really was teach him how to play football or understand the game of football, because his motor and athleticism take care of the rest. So just him being consistent, though. You think about what sports he play. The seasons are back to back to back to back. I don't think there's ever an off season for him with the three sports. And you go from football to wrestling, which wrestling is during track. So you still got to do track practice while you're doing wrestling, and football season runs over into both. So there's never a time off. And so he's used to the work. And I think that's really why he's able to be successful, because all he's known is work on top of grades.
Couple of questions, Mattnew. The number one, talk about playing the different sports. Do you think that helps you? And also, what do you think your strengths are out there on the football field, and what are you continuing to work on to be the best athlete you can?
I think that multiple sports has helped me in different ways, because there's different conditioning to different sports. So when you're on the football field, it all comes together. And then the motor you have to do different sports, and like the mentality to do different sports, it's all different mindset. So it all comes together on the football field. But things that I need to work on, or that coaches have worked me on, is my feet and my get off. But things I continue to work on would be my football knowledge and to get to know the game better.
Coach, the obviously great season again, and y'all had a lot of blowouts, but also you had some adversity and had to keep going, including in this last game with Conway. Talk about being able to overcome that, and maybe how that might be good for y'all going into the playoffs.
Man, adversity is always a good thing. I don't know a coach who wants adversity. I think every coach would like an easy one, but it's always a good thing, especially when you can overcome it. Because at some point in every football game or every football season, you're going to have adversity, and the question is always how will you handle it, And I'm proud of these guys of how they handled it. We answered every single time, and you just want that to carry over, and that's the biggest thing is just always answering the bell. And what adversity is, and it tells what kind of man you are when you can handle it. How you respond to adversity tells what kind of man you are. And I think these young men are growing up because I before even we played this game, but before Conway was in the picture, I think midway through the year, I questioned them. I said, man, I don't know if we can win a close one. We haven't been in one. These young guys are jokesters now. Back when we played, or even when you played, or I grew up, everybody was so serious on the football field. I mean, these guys smile all the time, and they even when they make a play, they're smiling. I'm used to mean guys. I'm used to the guys who will cut a finger off at halftime and keep rolling. Not saying these guys are not that tough, but it's just a generational change. So you kind of have to figure out every team and every group of guys, and everybody's different. So I always question, are we tough enough to handle situations like that? And I'm just glad we were able to get in that situation before the playoffs to figure it out. That doesn't mean that we'll win it all. That doesn't mean that just because you beat Conway or you face the adversity, you can do it again. I mean, we know we can do it now. We just got to be able to continue to do it.
Mattnew, there's a lot of components it takes going into a winning football team, but usually seniors on a high school football team are a big factor. Talk about your group and just how y'all have come together over the years and how y'all are out there leading.
I'd say that since we've grown up together, basically, we spend more time with each other than our parents, kind of. So I would say the brotherhood that we have and how we can communicate with each other. And if someone says something, we know what they're talking about because we all have our own language. And I think it's just us trying to lead together, not just one person leading, but all of us together leading as a group.
Coach, there's always, when you're having success, you get to an off week when you start the playoffs. Obviously, the rest versus rust thing is always brought up. How do you feel about this week? And then we'll go into, your possible opponent next week.
Well, I mean, I think with bye weeks, I think our guys understand by now that it's not an off week. It's a week to get better, so you got to keep practice. It's competitive while trying to maintain health at the same time. I think the biggest thing is trying to stay competitive, find different ways to stay competitive and still teach the game. You don't really know who you're preparing for, so you got to prepare in all facets of the game. But that's just the way we handle it, trying to stay super competitive during the bye week. Almost game-like situations so that we can continue to carry over and not get into a lax mindset.
And then I guess it's Fayetteville or Pulaski Academy, both who have a lot of talent, both who've had games this season. I'm sure that they would have liked to have gone the other way. But talk about the challenge of, kind of preparing for a team that you won't know until Friday night who you're going to play.
Well, the good thing about both of those teams are they're very similar in terms of pass game. Obviously, one of them's probably I don't know. I won't know until one of them win the game. But whoever wins the game probably has the better athletes on offense. But they're both pass-heavy teams. Then one of them has a good quarterback. Not saying that the other doesn't have a good quarterback. One of them's rated or whatever, highly rated. But they're both spread, so we better be ready to pass rush, and we better be ready to stop the run on first down because you still got to be able to run the ball. It'll be very similar for defense. Now, for offense, we really don't know. I mean, because Fayetteville is a lot different than PA, so that preparation really is just going against our defensive front and trying to get different looks in the secondary to mimic the pressures that we could get from the other teams. But you just don't know. You just don't know.
My 5'9", 160-pound self back in the late 70s, early 80s didn't get to the quarterback much because I'm back there at safety, but did get to blitz every once in a while. Is there a better feeling in the world than getting the quarterback on a big play, Mattnew?
I say no, not really, unless you're as one if you pick that ball off. But besides that, as a D lineman, the quarterback's the best thing you can get.
Obviously, y'all will been watching tape this week, I'm sure. Just Mattnew, what's it been like? Just maybe honing in on staying ready, but kind of getting a little rest.
I mean, after working, we usually work all throughout the year, kind of. So us having a break week, it's not like a break week, but fine tune week. We're fine tuning stuff, so it feels good just to relax a little bit.
And I can tell you to do that. We're doing this interview early in the morning, and they're already at school, ready to go. As you look at I love the opportunity you have doing this show, and then we're sponsored by Goat Lab Brewery, which is a restaurant or a couple of restaurants that they have here in Lowell, Arkansas, and Fayetteville, Arkansas. Great owner there, Bill, who do a really good job at and getting the atmosphere ready before and after games. I'm sure that they'll have it ready to go this weekend at 11:45 when Arkansas takes on LSU in a big ball game for just pride's sake and in all honesty. Coach, in that sort of vein, when you go out every Friday, y'all don't have a game where you could take off and you're always going to get everybody's best shot. But talk about going into other states and playing teams like y'all have this year as well, and then coming back and playing the best talent in Arkansas. Is it about iron sharpening iron?
Yeah, you definitely you take those first 3 games, and one of them's always going to be the Salt Bowl. It's always going to be a tough task, no matter what the final outcome is. And then you add the other 2 games where you really want to find games that'll challenge you, mentally and physically. And really those are unknowns. Every year those are unknowns. The teams that we've been playing are highly rated in their state. When I say highly rated, they're always top 20 in their state at least. And so that is about iron sharpening iron because it's just different, different coaching styles, different cultures, different athletes, and so that helps. I think that helps us early on, but the question always remains is how will you fare against the athletes in your own state? Because I think Arkansas is very underrated in terms of coaching. I think, and athletes because we're overlooked. For whatever reason, the state of Arkansas is overlooked talent-wise in football, and I think that's getting better. I think it's getting better. But then the high school coaches are overlooked as well because we faced some quality opponents out of state that we felt like the coaches here were better, who may not have the same quality of athletes that we faced. But then when you get into the coaching staffs in this state, they're really tough. They're really good at what they do, So I just think we can do that. We can go out. You can go out and play out of state, but I don't think it's the same level of football. When I say same level of football, I think the coaching is way better in the state. But then I think the athletes are catching up for sure.
Mattnew, you committed to Oklahoma I guess back in June. Had a lot of great offers. Talk a little bit about what it was about Oklahoma that made that the right spot for you.
Along my journey with recruiting, it came late, like Coach says, but it also was a lot for me and let's learn a new experience and stuff like that. So whenever the coaches from Oklahoma came, it felt like a part of my family. And when I went there, it felt like home. It's just like Arkansas, really. And it really just felt like home when I got there. I feel like they want me there for who I am and like what I can be, and they want to push me to be the best after high school and college.
Obviously, I'll just address the elephant in the room, as they say. Arkansas offered you this week. I guess Coach Petrino called you. I usually say what I want. Don't really matter what anybody thinks about it. Arkansas was way too late on you. Didn't pay enough attention. Going to regret it down the line if that doesn't work out. Just want to get that out there. But talk a little bit about maybe getting that offer this week late. But, how did it feel when you got that call?
I mean, I love Arkansas. It's always been my home. But I was very surprised that he called me. I wasn't anticipating it or anything, expecting it. But I was like, it's Coach Petrino. And he said, yes, it is. And it was just a very good surprise, I guess you could say.
Talk a little bit about Coach Sanders. You've got a lot of talent on that team. I think you've had maybe 6 or 7 now that are committed to go elsewhere in that the signing period. I mean, to go to college in that December 3rd through 5th period. Talk about being able to guide these young men when the recruits are coming in to talk to them. And you and I have talked. It's about relationships. It's always going to be about the bag too, but relationships are key. Talk to me about that in terms of what you've seen in just different situations with coaches coming in and trying to recruit these days, as opposed to the old landscape.
Well, man, it's college recruiting is a lot different now than it was. It's slowly becoming more about the money, and you hate it. I hate it for the kids, because it takes away from the experience, I just try to encourage the guys. I mean, take money. If somebody's gonna offer you some money, you better take it.
Hey, I do.
But I don't think it has to be first on the list, because what often happens is you get too consumed in the money and you forget your best interest. You got to remember, this is a life-changing decision. And that's what I try to tell these guys, man, this is a life-changing decision. Now, albeit life-changing financially as well, but at the end of the day, the financial part of it will take care of itself if you go take care of business at the next level. And you got to remember that you want to play football. You want to play football for a long time. So you got to get somewhere where you see yourself excelling in that situation. Because I think if you make the decision based strictly on money, then you'll have money for 1 year, and then the next year you're looking for another home. And that home is not guaranteed anymore because now they're basing it off of what you did and didn't do that previous year. It's not like coming out of high school. When you're coming out of high school, you can have a great year, right? So they're basing it off of that. And then the next year, they're basing it off what you've already done. And if you get there and you don't do much and then you want to go somewhere else, now you're taking a financial hit that you didn't plan for. So you can set yourself up in high school, but you got to make an educated decision based on where you see yourself fitting for the next 2 or 3 years to put yourself in a better situation down the line. And that could be going to the NFL. That could be getting a raise on what they call the NIL deal now. You're not signing a lifetime contract when you sign a 1-year deal. All you're doing is trying to put yourself in a situation where you can improve yearly. And if you put yourself in a situation where you can improve yearly, where you fit, then the financial part will take care of itself because it's not like you're signing a cap. So I just try to educate these guys on making a decision based on their athletic ability and what they can do for the future to continue to grow in the future instead of trying to cap out right now and go somewhere you're going to be happy. You got to be happy first. And then the rest will take care of itself.
I would imagine that y'all are going to concentrate first on the field, but are y'all going to have a ceremony where everybody signs during the December 3rd, 5th period? Or
we'll have quite a few signing because we have quite a few graduating early. And so I kind of leave it up to the guys. Some of them kind of want to wait till February if they're not graduating early, and I'll let them do that so they can sign with the rest of the team. And then the ones who are leaving early, we'll definitely have a ceremony for them guys. Which I actually think that ceremony is before the state championship this year. Mm-hmm. So that kind of sucks for all teams across the state of Arkansas, at least the 7A teams at least. That'll be going on during the state championship week or whoever makes it. But it is what it is. It's for the kids. And I think my kids have done a great job of not being distracted by anything. So I don't think they'll be distracted. I just think it'll be just another Wednesday. Usually it's on Wednesday. Another Wednesday for us. Where we'll have fun that night, and then we'll go back and go practice on Thursday, and it'll be a stress reliever when recruiting finally over.
Now, Mattnew, are you signing during that early period, or are you an early grad?
Yes, sir. I'm early grad.
Okay. Are you signing during that early period?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm honored to have y'all on. I really enjoyed talking to y'all. Good luck the rest of the way. I know y'all don't need luck. You got talent in the coaching.
No, we always need luck. We need that luck to get them opportunities. We need that. We got to have it.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate it very much. And good luck the rest of the year and good luck in your college career.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thanks. Love visiting with those guys. Coach Sanders is the old guys, like I used to say, as cool as the other side of the pillow. And Mattnew, obviously, tremendous player, tremendous young man. Wish him luck. I know there's a lot of people who watch this show who hope somebody will come in and swoop him away to Arkansas, but he's going to be a success both on and off the field wherever he goes. We appreciate everybody watching and listening to the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast presented by Goat Lab Brewery. Be sure to subscribe to all the great content we have here on YouTube and also wherever you get your audio podcast. I really feel like that, it was good to get Mattnew on, just kind of let him talk about, where he's at and those different things. That's kind of what we want to do on this show is whether it's good or bad, talk about what's real. And, as I always say, remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. Let's go out and do something to make the world a better place.